At the beginning of the story, a baby boy is born on a small farm in South Africa. His name is Peter Keith, though everyone lovingly calls him PK. Even before he comes into the world, tragedy surrounds him. His father dies just a few days before his birth. From the very start, his family is left to struggle. A few years later, another disaster strikes the farm. A dangerous disease spreads among the animals and all the cows die. The loss hits hard. PK's mother is heartbroken. She feels she cannot run the farm the way her husband once did. Still, despite everything, she refuses to let PK's education suffer. Determined that he should have a better future, she sends him to a boarding school. The school is run by Afrikaners, descendants of Europeans who settled in Africa hundreds of years ago. They believe black people are inferior and they strongly dislike the English. On PK's very first day, during history class, the teacher talks about the wars between the Afrikaners and the British.
The English drove us into the wilderness. It is our responsibility to rise up and push out the English, to put down the black.
The story is told in a way that paints the English as cruel oppressors. All the students listen carefully. That's when PK realizes he is the only British boy in the class. As if that realization isn't painful enough, a boy sitting behind him suddenly spits on his face. In that moment, it becomes clear that the entire class is against him. The next day is even worse. A cruel boy named Balta corners PK in the bathroom along with his friends. They insult him, curse at him, and humiliate him.
Well, don't feel bad, Pesco. We'll give you some more tomorrow, won't we?
The bullying becomes constant. PK is so terrified that he starts wetting his bed at night. And then, as if life hasn't already been harsh enough, he receives the news that his mother has died.
Your mother is dead.
He returns home for her funeral, carrying deep regret in his heart. He keeps thinking that he left her when she was sick.
I never should have left.
Maybe, he tells himself, if he had stayed, she might have found a reason to keep living. Now, the only family he has left is his grandfather, who lives in another country. Before being sent away to school, PK had told his nanny how badly the children bullied him. She loved him deeply and wanted to help. To ease his fear, she called a tribal healer named Dubawanzi. The healer performed a special African ritual and then made PK stand in front of an elephant. The idea was simple: face fear directly. When the elephant roared loudly, PK did not run. Instead, the elephant gently touched his hand with its trunk. Something shifted inside him that day. His fear disappeared. Before he returned to school, the tribe also gave him a rooster, believing it would protect him. Whenever the cruel boys approached, the rooster would warn him. It didn't change everything, but at least PK had time to prepare himself. Then, the Second World War begins. Tensions rise everywhere. The students who hate the British begin idolizing Hitler, and once again, PK becomes their main target. One day, the students capture him and drag him to a boy named Breston, who behaves like a tyrant. Breston slaps PK hard and, to show his dominance, kills PK's rooster. That moment changes something in PK. His fear turns to anger. He pushes Breston with all his strength. Breston falls, and a small flagpole pierces him. Furious, Breston hangs PK upside down, determined to take revenge and even kill him. At the last moment, a teacher arrives and stops the attack. He slaps Breston for his cruelty and for trying to murder another student. Breston is expelled from the school. After this incident, PK is sent to live with his grandfather, who is now returned from abroad. However, his grandfather is not ready to raise him. Instead, he places PK in the care of a man named Doc. Doc had fled Germany during Hitler's rule after the Nazis killed his entire family. In a world where both of them have lost so much, they slowly become each other's family, though neither of them notices exactly when that happens. Life with Doc is calm and meaningful. Doc teaches PK not just lessons from books, but lessons about life. But one day, everything changes again.
Professor von Wallenstein?
Yeah.
By order of His Majesty's government?
The British police arrest Doc because he hid the fact that he was German. He's sent to jail. Ironically, the head of the jail and many of the guards are German, and they allow PK to visit Doc whenever he wants so the boy won't feel alone. Even behind bars, their bond remains strong. Still, PK continues to suffer at school.
In my school, you get beaten up if you're a boy.
Seeing this, Doc introduces PK to a man named Gil. Gil has spent almost his entire life in prison. At Doc's request, he becomes PK's boxing coach. The very first lesson Gil teaches him is simple but powerful. Use your brain first, then your heart.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
For their first training session, Gil asked Doc for tobacco as payment, but Sergeant Borman overhears and without warning beats Gil in front of everyone. Gil silently endures the pain. Watching this, PK decides he will get tobacco for Gil no matter what it takes. PK continues training. As he grows older, he becomes better and stronger. Eventually, he earns a place in the jail championship. With Gil's training, he becomes powerful and disciplined. After winning the championship, he gains respect among the black African prisoners. Secretly, PK helps smuggle tobacco into the jail by hiding it in a pot. One day, as Gil carries a bucket of tobacco from PK, Borman catches Gil. Gil throws the bucket away, but Borman already knows the truth.
You are a bunch of shooty-does.
Mocking him, Borman mixes mud with tobacco on his shoe and forces Gil to lick it, clearly enjoying the humiliation.
You can't hide from me forever, cover.
Later, Gil tells PK that one day he will expose Borman's cruelty to the world and make him pay for the pain he has caused. Soon after, news spreads that Hitler is dead and the war has ended. Doc is overjoyed and looks forward to going home, but PK feels sad. He doesn't want Doc to leave him. Sometime later, Doc is placed in charge of organizing a welcome concert for the commissioner's arrival. PK and Gil use this opportunity to write a song in an African language that secretly mocks the guards right under their noses.
They run this way, they run that way. They are confused, they are afraid. They are cowards.
The day of the concert arrives. Everyone is nervous. The head of the jail warns that any mistake will lead to punishment. But once the music begins, the prisoners sing joyfully. The guards stand confused, unable to understand a single word. Meanwhile, Gil is finishing his laundry work when Borman catches him. He begins beating Gil and demands to know the meaning of the song. Gil thinks carefully before answering. Then he boldly says it means the guards are cowards. He repeats the word coward again and again, as if he is finally freeing himself. Enraged, Borman strikes him brutally with a stick, injuring him severely. PK senses something is wrong and runs to find Gil, but he is too late. As Gil lies dying, he thanks PK for uniting the black tribes and repeats the lesson he taught him long ago. Use your mind first, not your heart. Years pass. PK grows into a young man and studies at an English school in Johannesburg. He continues boxing. One day, during an important match, he is knocked down by the very first punch. It looks like he's about to lose. Then he sees a girl encouraging him to get up. At the same time, he hears chants coming from outside the stadium. Black students, who are not allowed inside because of racial discrimination, are cheering for him from beyond the gates. Their voices give him strength. PK stands up and begins striking his opponent again and again. In the end, he wins the fight impressively. The crowd praises him, but PK's eyes search only for the girl. With the help of his friend Maury, he finds her. Her name is Maria. She is the daughter of Daniel, a powerful leader of the Afrikaner Party. And now, more than anything, PK wants to meet her.
You can't ignore the fact that the man's the intellectual darling of the Nationalist Party. He's got as much use for an English boy ratting after his purebred Afrikaner daughter as the Queen has for balls, pardon my French.
Maury.
That night, gathering all the courage he had, PK quietly slipped into Maria's boarding school. He climbed up to her balcony, and for a few precious moments, they stood together under the night sky. They didn't have much time, but before leaving, PK promised her that the very next day he would speak to her father about marriage. The following day, Mori took PK to a gym where both white and black fighters trained side by side. There, PK met Hoppy, the owner of the gym and an experienced boxing coach. The moment Hoppy saw PK fight, he was impressed. He decided he would personally train him. Even with this exciting opportunity in front of him, PK's thoughts kept drifting back to Maria. Soon after, PK went to Maria's house to speak with her father.
I'm Professor Moret.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I'm PK.
That's my great uncle, young Pete. He led a commando at 22 until your people caught him and hanged him.
You mean the English? I'm a South African, sir.
But Daniel made it clear that PK shouldn't even dream of such a thing. If he did, there would be serious consequences. Maria, however, refused to accept her father's words. She defied him and went to the boxing gym to see PK. Not long after, PK's path was blocked by a man named Elias. Elias had once been in jail with Gil and now worked as a boxing agent. He told PK that during his match, he had been the one gathering the crowd outside. Then he introduced him to Duma. Duma challenged PK directly, saying that black men were just as strong as he was. If PK truly had courage, he should fight him. PK accepted without hesitation. They traveled to Alexandra, a poor black township where poverty was everywhere. A large crowd gathered to watch the fight. Inside the ring, both fighters gave it their all. Duma hit hard and knocked PK to the mat with a powerful punch, but PK refused to give up. When the next round began, he tried to find Duma's weaknesses, yet Duma knocked him down again. As he lay on the canvas, memories of his painful childhood rushed back. He reminded himself he could never surrender. In the next round, PK unleashed 8 powerful punches, each faster than the last. Duma finally fell and PK won.
He's out! He's out!
Yet the crowd was silent. They had all come to support Duma. Then Duma did something unexpected. He stood up, raised PK's hand, and declared, "This is the warrior who never gives up." The silence broke. People began dancing with joy. From that moment on, they accepted PK as one of their own. Stories about him began spreading, how he had united black tribes in jail, how he was different from others. In time, PK returned to his boarding school and told Maria everything about Alexandra, the poverty, the suffering, the injustice. She listened carefully. That night, during dinner with her family, Maria couldn't stay silent. When her relatives spoke badly about black people, she lost her temper. She said she wanted to go to Alexandra and fight for their rights. "We came to their country, not them," she said. Furious, Daniel slapped her. Meanwhile, Mori and PK invited Duma and his friends from Alexandra to the English school. It was a risky move. The next day, while class was in session, Maria showed up and insisted she wanted to help teach as well. PK thanked her but warned her that her presence could create more trouble. Soon after, PK was called to the headmaster's office. The news hit him hard. The school had received orders from Colonel Botha and his assistant Brighton to stop teaching black people. They were the same men who had tormented PK in his earlier school days and were now working under Daniel in the police. They were even spying on PK and Mori for him. Then came another twist. The headmaster offered both PK and Mori full scholarships to Oxford University. For any student, it was a dream opportunity, but PK sensed it was Daniel's plan to remove him from the situation. A few days later, while PK was training with Duma, Brighton arrived with soldiers and sealed the gym, blaming PK's school activities. Without warning, the soldiers attacked. Brighton wanted to show his power and intimidate everyone. PK realized then that no matter how hard he fought in the ring, battling the government was different. He decided he would accept the Oxford scholarship.
I've been accepted to Oxford.
And even tried to convince Maria to go with him. One day outside the gym, he saw Hoppy painting a mural of black and white fighters training together. It was a bold message against the government. Hoppy declared he wasn't afraid. Everyone was welcome in his gym. But that very night, Brighton returned with soldiers, forced everyone out, and set the gym on fire. As Hoppy was dragged away to jail, Hoppy told PK never to stop fighting, not just in boxing, but for truth itself. Those words stayed with PK. He changed his mind. With Mori and Maria, he began secretly teaching black Africans in a church. For a while, things went well, but then Botha and Brighton raided the church. Chaos broke out. In the confusion, a stick struck Maria in the face. She fell, and within moments, she was gone. PK couldn't bear the loss. At her funeral, Daniel tried to attack him in anger, but PK no longer feared him. Then, from a distance, voices rose. The children of Alexandra and their families arrived, those Maria had helped teach. Their unity forced Daniel to step back. Maria's death shattered PK. He felt empty and defeated. When he went to Duma to say he was leaving for Oxford, he admitted he couldn't continue. But when he saw the children speaking English, the language he had taught them, he understood his place was here. If change was to happen, he had to stay and face the fire. He gave up Oxford. The fight would continue. One evening, soldiers stormed Alexandra, harassing the residents and demanding to know PK's whereabouts. PK and Duma tried to escape. As they ran, Brighton shot Duma in the leg, but Duma urged PK to keep going. The people helped PK flee. Though wounded, Duma saw Colonel Botha nearby. Rage filled him. Seizing the moment, he grabbed a spear and drove it into his chest, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Brighton was about to kill Elias when PK attacked him. At last, PK had the chance to face him. They fought fiercely, and PK overpowered him. But Brighton grabbed a pistol and aimed at PK. In that split second, Duma stepped in with a cricket bat and struck Brighton hard in the face, killing him. In the end, PK and Duma escaped together. They looked at each other with respect and promised they would not stop until the situation truly changed. And that brings us to the end of today's story. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting and entertaining movie summaries. Also, make sure to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next recap.